Are you frustrated by the pace of living in the 21st century? Do you wish we could all go back to a simpler time without so much technology, social media, and pressures of our society? Join us for the Brigadoon Experience, where we learn some of the simpler crafts of yesterday while utilizing 21st century tools. We will explore the very most basic skills, crafts, organic gardening, music, and everyday household tips that maybe even our ancestors used. We are Stephanie and Steve Everett, and we want to invite you to share in our creative journey through the Brigadoon Experience. Hi, Stephanie Everett here with the Brigadoon Experience. And today I'm going to show you a really great project that I've been working on in my home for over 20 years. And I've been tiling my backsplash for all these years with 6x6 tile trivets that we've collected over the years at different historical sites, different national parks, different state parks. I have churches, all kinds of local historical sites here where we live in central PA. So I alternated those with just inexpensive 6x6 tiles that I get at the local Home Depot or Lowe's. They're less than 50 cents and they're readily available almost anywhere. And so I just made a backsplash out of these inexpensive trivets, and it's so much fun because we can revisit some of the places we've seen over the years. Some of our tiles are also made by friends who have taken photographs or logos that we've given to them, and they've actually made them into tiles. I have a friend who makes tiles. So you'll see the Brigadoon Experience logo when I show you the kitchen tiles, and something I've really enjoyed doing, and you're going to get to see the last few tiles go into place. Okay, to adhere our tiles, the last view, I am going to be using liquid nails for small projects. Normally, when I did a lot of this, I used a white mastic, just like you would when any other tile. But for this one, because it's just a small thing, a small project, I really found that the liquid nails for small projects work great. And you just get a little glue on here on the back. Just put a couple little pieces here. And we're going to just put it right in place, and then I hold it in place till it dries, just with some painter's tape, just something simple. I will be putting grout on these as we go. I just want them to be level and all happy. That's the hardest part of this. Okay, so if you notice, I have a white tile here, so I'm going to go for a pattern tile next. Happened to find one at our local antique shop that is just like a Gettysburg. Been there many times, and they knew I had a couple more spots to fill, so we said, hey, we've been to Gettysburg, let's get a Gettysburg tile. So if you want to try this, a lot of antique stores have these kinds of tiles. And I'm going to put these corner pieces in, and they'll just sort of finish off the whole job. They always do a nice job. Now that my tiles have had time to adhere to the wall, it's time for that last step in the process. If you've ever done tiling, you'll know that that is grout. So all I did was went to my local home improvement store and purchased some simply just pre-mixed grout. It's about $12 for this whole container, and it's bright white. That's what I'm looking for in this, because we have white tile plus the colored tile, and the white just simply goes into it. And you can see this is the whole area here that still needs grouted, and then the project will be completed after 20 years. So here we go, we'll add some grout. I'm going to take that pre-mixed grout, and I'm just going to use my fingers because it's such a small area, and work the grout into the joints. It's a little messy. Once that grout is on, then I'm just going to take a wet sponge and clean off the excess. Now, as with any tiling project, you're going to want to go back over your grout several times with clean water each time. So dump out your old water, get clean water, and make sure there isn't any of that grout residue on your tiles. And then probably tomorrow I'll come back over and just make sure that's all cleaned over one more time. And per my directions on the grout, it says after 24 hours, then you can wash and use it just like you would normal. So it'll be all dry and ready to go. So there it is, grouted and project complete. Thanks for joining me on this adventure for the Brigadoon experience with our tile backsplash. When I started out this project, I truly only had 6 tiles. They were all blue and white and they went right behind my kitchen sink. I never knew I'd be able to fill up my entire backsplash with tile, which has been a really fun process. I'm sure there are some variations too that you might be able to try, maybe with 4x4 tiles. They seem to be a little bit more in vogue these days than when I started my project 20 years ago. Or maybe a mosaic with broken china. I think that would be so much fun. A little less structured than I did, but I think you could be very, very creative with that as well. Hope you picked up some great ideas this time, and thanks for joining us on the Brigadoon Experience.